What's happening, cybersecurity warriors? Today I'm going to do a comparison of Identity Guard versus ID Shield. These are two identity theft protection services that will help you monitor your personal information online. They also offer credit monitoring and transaction monitoring. And of course, they offer insurance should things go bad, and they have a support teams to help you get everything squared away. But let's look at why you might want to choose Identity Guard versus ID Shield. I would say that both of these companies offer relatively useful services, that's for sure. Identity Guard is a great solution if you're just looking for basic, stripped down personal information monitoring on the dark web. It offers very affordable plans for that. But if you're interested in getting a little bit more than that from your plan, then I would recommend you actually check out Aura, which is, believe it or not, the parent company of Identity Guard. They used to be, two separate entities, but Aura is sort of an all-in-one solution now. They have acquired Identity Guard and incorporated their functionality into what Aura has to offer. And Aura really is, in my opinion, the most comprehensive identity theft protection service out there at really the best price that I've seen. I highly recommend you check them out. And I do have a discount for Aura. I'll put the link in the description of this video that automatically applies that, along with one for Identity Guard as well, should you choose that. In terms of ID Shield, I think that they're a reasonably suitable identity theft protection service. I would say for the money you pay, there are probably better options out there, or definitely, Identity Guard if you're looking for really a value plan. We'll get into that more in just a bit. But I think the interface for ID Shield is a little bit clunky, a little bit outdated. And not so user-friendly, and we'll get into that in just a bit here. Real quick, what I'm going to look into today is how these companies stack up in terms of monitoring, what they offer for threat resolution, and of course, how they compare on cost. So let's just jump into the monitoring here. So when you come into your dashboard, this is what you get with Identity Guard and ID Shield. Let's start here with ID Shield. So when you log into ID Shield, you are presented with this dashboard here. The most interesting section is going to be the credit and dark web monitoring section here, but they also offer reputation management, anti-malware protection, VPN and password management. But we'll start with the credit and dark web monitoring. And one thing that you'll notice right away with ID Shield is that it's all sort of bringing you to these different portals. Every time you go to a new portal, you need to sign in again, which is a little bit annoying and definitely not the best design in my opinion. This is the dashboard with Identity Guard here. Basically what you get with Identity Guard is, so I have their most basic plan because I think if you do go for anything more than that, you definitely want to check out Aura. It's basically the exact same dashboard, but offers a lot more at a more affordable price. So with the value plan for Identity Guard, you don't get transaction monitoring, you don't get credit monitoring. You do get a password manager and identity monitoring. That's basically what you're getting with Identity Guard. And as you can see, the antivirus, VPN, and family members are not included here. So really, all you're getting with Identity Guard is the password manager and the identity monitoring. But let's just take a look inside here. How these identity theft protection services work is that you input your personal information. For Identity Guard, it's this watch list here. For ID Shield, it's this dark web monitoring list over here. But you can put in information like your phone numbers, passport numbers, driver's license number, national provider identifier, financial accounts, and on and on and on. One thing that if you're looking at any identity theft protection service, I'd recommend checking out, how many email addresses they monitor. Some of them are quite limiting. Both of these companies allow you to monitor plenty. I would say I have 6 monitored with both of them. That's, all that I need. But basically you put this information in and these services scan the dark web for any instances of your leaked credentials, whether that is, logins for a website or, the logins to the emails themselves, or any of this information that you've put in. If that is available online or on the dark web, you'll get an alert from these companies and they'll let you know basically that information is available to be used for malicious purposes and that you should go and change your emails or whatever the recommended corrective action may be. Down here you can see all of my dark web hits that Identity Guard has found. Right now there are 18 of them here, and if you just click into one of them, this is basically what they look like. They found my email address in a data breach. This was my email on a Twitter breach that was found on January 6, 2023. And in this case, the password was not leaked, just the email address. So I didn't end up changing it, although they do tell you, change the passwords. Actually, you know what? I did change this one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that's what they look like. With ID Shield, what the dark web alerts look like, they're very similar. This is the same dark web alert here. And basically it tells me, my personal information was compromised, when they found it, what the data breach title was, and, what information was exposed. And they give you a little bit more detail here. It was my email, my name on Twitter, my screen name, and how many followers I had. So that's what they look like on ID Shield. And then they tell you down here what you should do about it. Basically change your password for that account. And in any case, one of my biggest beefs with ID Shield though, is that once you've dismissed these alerts, I cannot find how to bring them back up again. I definitely like to go back and look and see and make sure, everything's been changed and just kind of keep track of what information has been leaked. And I really can't find a way to do that with IDShield, whereas with Identity Guard, it's really quite simple. They're all listed here, and there's not much more to it. Other nice things about Identity Guard is that they do automatically opt out from data brokers on your request. So this helps to reduce, junk mail, robocalls, those types of things. And they're continually doing this as they find your information listed with more data brokers. They'll send you an email, say, hey, we, submitted to, I don't know, 6, for example, more opt-out requests for data brokers on your behalf. And it's a nice touch that Identity Guard offers. I don't see that with IDShield. In any case, Identity Guard also does monitor public records. So if any credit card or utility accounts are opened in your name, you'll get an alert about that. And they'll also, if any public records are modified that are linked to you, even, if somebody uses your identity during an arrest, you'll get a notification for that as well. So that's really the nuts and bolts of Identity Guard. IDShield does have more to offer. Of course, their plan is more expensive, but let's just take a look at what that is. They do have a credit score tracker here. And as you can see, you can visualize how your credit score is changing over time. And worth noting is that this is a Vantage score from TransUnion. If you do want to get 3 bureau credit monitoring, you do have to actually upgrade to a slightly more expensive plan. We'll get to that in a bit here. What I don't love about IDShield's credit monitoring is that not only do you have to pay more to get 3 bureau credit monitoring, but also they don't really give you full access to your credit reports like a lot of the other companies do. Definitely Aura, definitely Identity Guard. If you upgrade there, you do have to still go over to annualcreditreport.com just like you would do if you didn't have an account with these guys. So they do offer credit score tracking, but it's not the best in my opinion. They do also offer financial account monitoring. So basically you can link your, credit cards, bank accounts, and if any transactions are sort of over a threshold that you've set, you'll get a notification there. Check out whether or not it's legitimate, take any action if needed. They do have, sex offender monitoring. If you just put your address in, it'll tell you if there are any registered sex offenders within selected distance from your house, which is nice, but I'm pretty sure that information is publicly available as well. And then they do also offer social media monitoring. So you can basically link your social profiles here. And if it's being used for abusive sort of posts on the internet, you'll get a report on that, which is definitely nice to have. I'm guessing that usually means someone has gotten a hold of your accounts and they're, using it maliciously. And then they do have this reputation management module, which I have never been able to open. I always get this error. I'm sure if I contacted support, I could log in there, but I have not, because I have not really wanted to use it, to be honest. So you can see here that, basically the individual plan, which is their most stripped down plan from IDShield, does offer a bit more than the most stripped down plan from Identity Guard. Of course, it's cheaper, but I would say that just from a sort of a usability standpoint, it's much easier to see where your personal information has been leaked with Identity Guard than it is with IDShield. And in terms of what they actually find, I can't really even go back right now and verify. I do know that Identity Guard finds an awful lot. They find breaches associated with multiple email addresses. I could see that just from my alerts here that IDShield also finds breaches from multiple email addresses, but I can't really go back and verify how many dark web hits they've actually found at this point. Kind of a bummer in that regard. So in terms of threat resolution, both of these companies do offer, $1 million in protection. For Identity Guard, that is $1 million in identity theft insurance. For IDShield, that is $1 million for unrecovered costs. So I'm sure the, wording of what that protection involves is perhaps a little bit different between the two, but pretty similar. And I think what's, more importantly, when you actually call these companies on the phone, the agents I've spoken with at both companies are, knowledgeable. They understand your problems, very willing to help, fully sort of familiar with the products that they are representing and the issues you might be facing as a customer of their product. And I think they both definitely have your back there, which is really important with an identity theft protection service, because typically when you're calling them, it's because you're having a pretty bad day. So you don't want to be dealing with a company that has subpar support. And luckily, I don't think that's the case with either of these companies. So something to keep in mind there. And then last but not least, let's take a look at how these companies compare in terms of price. And as I've mentioned throughout this video, I am on the value plan for Identity Guard and the individual plan for IDShield. And as you can see, with Identity Guard's value plan, I'm not getting any credit monitoring, no monthly credit scores, no credit lock, anything like that. You are getting 1 bureau credit monitoring with IDShield at their baseline plan. If you want the 3 bureau credit monitoring, you have to upgrade, and that's $20 per month. Definitely a higher price for IDShield, and you might be wondering, is it worth the extra price? Well, this is where I really think Aura starts to make a lot more sense. If you come over and just take a look at Aura's pricing, Their individual plan is, if you pay monthly, it's $15 a month, so very comparable with IDShield's $14.95 per month. And if you pay annually, it's $12 per month, so a bit cheaper. And this is before you actually apply my discount. With my discount, you can save up to 50% on their family plan. So it's really a great deal. But if all you need is the individual plan, the monthly price comes down to $12 per month, and it's $9 per month, I believe, at the time I'm filming. If you pay annually, those numbers may change over time, but my link in the description will always give you the best deal that I currently have access to. I do also have a discount for Identity Guard as well. This should knock some money off of this price. But again, if you really want more than the value plan, which I recommend you get, I would recommend you check out Aura, because it's basically the exact same interface, more to offer. And, it's basically just a comprehensive package at a really approachable price. IDShield, again, while it's not terrible, their interface is really tough to work with. I just think that Aura is a lot more sleek and a lot more user-friendly, and definitely a better deal at the end of the day. But if you choose any of these 3 identity theft protection services, make sure to use my links in the description below this video. If I have any deals, they'll make sure they're automatically applied. And if you're interested in learning more about Aura, check out my Aura review right here on this channel. And I also do have an in-depth comparison of Aura versus Identity Guard, as well as one comparing Aura versus IDShield directly. So hope this helps with your decision, and have a great day.